Hello neighbors. Last time we were left with more questions than answers, and today we'll speak with a genealogist who will help us uncover the mystery in part 3 of PATESHA'S reunion.
You just heard in one breath that both mother and father have passed. Novlet Rose is still a mystery because Christopher last saw her when she was a child. She went away to Old Harbor with an aunt Bernice, right, and he never saw her again. So we don't know where Novlet Rose is.
I've been telling my girlfriend I have this little sister where I need to find her. I don't know where to find her, but I have to.
Your place of residence where your mother was bred, not walk. Your mother, name and surname is given as Novlet Rose. She was 17 years old. It gives the informant's name as Eulalie Rose. Now she thinks that Eulalie Rose and Novlet Rose, but Tisha is thinking that they were sisters.
No. I keep telling her that it's impossible for
That Novlet Rose to be her mother. So some mix-up has happened, and that means we have to do some more research.
Genealogy is an account of the descent of a person, family, or group from an ancestor. Latoya Williams is a genealogist and family historian. We asked for her help in PATESHA'S case to solve some of the ambiguities.
It's our Caribbean Connections reunion series, and it's the story of PATESHA Campbell, who came to find her mother, Novlet Rose. And PATESHA was here before. We found some information. We found her brother Chris. She found some other family members that belong to her father's side. But really and truly, PATESHA wants to find her mother, Novlet Rose. And with me is genealogist and family historian, Latoya Williams. Who exactly is a genealogist?
A genealogist, I would say, they're the keepers of records. They, in particular, procure family histories. And so we trace lineage for different people all the way back as far as there are records. And people tend to want to pretty much go all the way back to Africa or China or wherever their motherland, originated from.
Right.
Genealogy is probably the second most popular hobby apart from gardening in the world. People get into it and then they just love it. They want to find out more, and they want to pass on something to their families. So we go out there, we let people know we're here. It's time to look into your family history, and we're the company to do it.
And where in Jamaica do you go about getting this sort of information?
Different places, anywhere that has records. So repositories, you certainly have to tap into the RGD.
Oh, of course.
They keep a lot of records. But other than that, though, you have databases across the world that you tap into. Several of them, if you're a genealogist. It can't just be one because our families are so mixed. They're from everywhere and they migrate to everywhere. And so you need to be able to have your pulse, your pulse on that.
Now, we brought you in because there was the story of the young lady, PATESHA Campbell, who actually came to find her mother, Novlet Rose, and her uncle, who is Christopher, brother to Novlet Rose. On hearing that, he was saying that Novlet couldn't be her mother. It must be his mother, who is Eulalie Salmon.
She gets some good information, but the information...
No. She got this from the registrar.
That's
So
wrong.
some mix-up has happened, and that means we have to do some more research. The birth certificate said Novlet Rose, your mother. He's saying that Novlet Rose cannot be your mother because she went away when she was a baby. Before his mother met Kenneth Campbell. So Eulalie Rose is his mother. So there's a strong possibility that your mother is Eulalie Rose.
So enter Latoya Williams, and you got to tell us what you found.
Okay, so when we first heard about the case, we found it to be very interesting. We're saying, we have to help this young lady find out who her real mother is. Is it Novlet or is it Eulalie Salmon, as her brother
has
said? We took our little while to do just to make sure. In genealogy, you have something called an exhaustive search.
Yes.
And so it's not just one record, but it's several records. And it's talking to as many informants as possible, many witnesses as possible, developing a story, and in the end, solving that research problem. And in particular, the research problem that you came to us with is the record of Novlet Rose being Patisha's mother, is it correct?
Well, take us through.
We first started with the records. We got a particular story and we looked at those and we said, okay, let's corroborate, let's talk to whoever there is. So we spoke to the immediate family members. We're talking to brothers and sisters, and in that family they're a little far flung. They didn't have the best of childhoods. And
are they also Roses? They have the name Rose attached to them?
most of them have the name Rose attached to them, but they were disconnected. Some of them did not know each other. And they pretty much only did find each other, or not each other, but find out who they really were when, say, they needed a passport. They had to go for the birth certificate, and they were like, well, that's not my name.
Oh, my.
So some of them grew up with not the best, circumstances. And right now, in talking to all of them, and something we did, we found that they want to come together. They want to
big
be
family
reunited. They
reunion.
want to find everybody.
And it's a couple of them, right?
It's a few of them. It's quite a few of them.
Bring in Christopher. Why was Christopher so adamant? Because you also spoke with Christopher.
Oh, I did.
Yes. What was that interview like?
We spoke to Christopher on numerous occasions. He told us different stories.
Yes.
He told us that Eulalie Rose at some point in time when he was young, very young.
Right. Which is Eulalie Salmon.
Which is Eulalie.
She married Frederick Rose.
Which is Christopher Rose's father, and supposedly
Novelet.
everybody else's Novelet's father. He told her that, no, you couldn't be my sister, Novelet's child, because Novelet was not around when you were born, even though he was very young. And that, in a sense, threw off everything because he was adamant. And not even just him, but there are other family members who say, oh, no, it's Eulalie's child.
Right. Because Christopher mentioned that he took care of the baby at some point as well.
But at the same time, the story wasn't always consistent.
Exactly.
And so we had to look into that. And he was also very young. And they were displaced. They were all over.
He would have been, what, 12, 13, 14, based on the births and dates and all of that.
He wouldn't have
We're looking
been
at him at
very...
about 13 years old, yes. And then we don't know much about Eulalie. She died.
She died. She passed on. And Frederick Rose passed on a few years ago, too.
Yes.
But in any case, it was not, they were not of the same father. It was a Kenneth Campbell's child. So Eulalie Rose, she had moved on, and she lived with a Kenneth Campbell.
Child?
Patisha.
Patisha is purported
to
be Kenneth Campbell's child, although there's no name on the birth certificate.
The father isn't named as that, but she was named Campbell, and it was accepted
in the family
that this is
and also
Kenneth's,
by Kenneth himself, who made a call to Patisha before he died.
Okay.
Acknowledging that he was her father, although they never met.
Okay.
So we got that one down. But the issue now is Novelet Rose. And it's one thing not to know whether she is really your mom, but it's another thing not to know where she is.
That's another thing.
So if she's still alive, if she's not alive.
We definitely want to take it one step further to find Novelet. We've pinned her down a bit to a particular location.
Oh, okay. Right here in Jamaica?
Right here in Jamaica. And it was the brothers and sisters, they're like, I want to find her. Please find her.
Yes.
And
so her brothers and sisters, Novelet's brothers and sisters,
Christopher,
also
Kenroy, all of them.
Wow.
Nicola, Lisanne, I'm calling out the names.
Wow. And of course, most of all, Patisha.
And Patisha was born January 8th, 1987.
Right, which would make her 16 years old.
And so that's the thing. She got pregnant at 15.
So her mother, which is Eulalie Salmon, is named
she was
the birth.
Present at birth.
So what we do know is that Kenneth Campbell is named as the father.
This place is Novelet Rose in the area, Breadnut Walk at the time. And Christopher, based on his memory, was saying she wasn't around.
She was not there.
But clearly she's around. There are other witnesses on here. And
but he did know, based on the records that you found, you know that Novelet Rose lives in St. Catherine as we speak.
She does.
And Christopher knew that she was actually sent away to St. Catherine when she was a young child.
He did.
So there is some truth there, yes?
to where she ended up.
And we do have records of Navlet's marriage.
So it does corroborate the story that the family members, whom I spoke
Who
with,
you spoke
gave.
with.
They all said that she moved away when she was around 15 thereabouts, and possibly we can probably see why she would have gone away a bit. And she was staying with a favorite aunt in somewhere there in St. Catherine.
All right, so where does that leave Patisha? Now that's two bombshells you're going to land on this young lady at this particular point in time. When you have to tell persons such news, I mean, what sort of reaction do you normally get?
I'm hoping to start in a really happy way. You have relatives out there. In fact, most people are very happy to find out that there is somebody else.
Yes.
Maybe it answers questions they always had.
Wow.
I really enjoyed working with the family. They're really earnest. They wanted to find out who they were. Humble family, not to ask money or anything, but it just goes to show you that once you know who you are, who your people are, and they're around you, that you can be whole. And I wish that for everyone.
Okay, great. Well, let's bring her in now and see what she has to say.
When we come back, Patisha Campbell joins us. Patisha Campbell came to our show to find her parents. Last time, she met her paternal siblings and Christopher Rose, who said that he was her brother. Today, she will get confirmation on who her mother is.
Of course, it's our Caribbean Connections reunion series, and we're continuing the story of Patisha Campbell, who came to our show to find her mother, Navlet Rose. Patisha, you should know about to play the nervous game now, because you come here 2 times already. It's the 3rd time you come in here now, don't you? Yes. So no bother with that. So. The only problem you have now is that lady beside you over there, so.
No problem at all.
Because she come to tell us what is what. Because the last time we left you, you had question signs buzzing around in your head. Why did we have question signs?
Because I was told that the person on my birth certificate wasn't my mother, it was my sister instead. So
who told you that?
Christopher.
And what did your birth certificate say? Who did it name as your mom?
Navlet Rose.
And there was another Rose on the birth certificate. What was that name?
Eulalie.
Eulalie Rose. And who was Eulalie Rose supposed to be?
On the birth certificate, she was an informant.
An informant at your birth?
Yes.
And Christopher shed some light on who Eulalie Rose was supposed to be. Yes. Tell us.
Well, he said that Eulalie is my mother.
Well, first of all, Eulalie is his mother.
His mother.
And Navlet's mother.
Yes.
And then
my mother.
Wow. So, what has he been telling you since then?
He said that we're from... Eulalie is from Brednut, Ginger Hill, but he grew up in Thornton. And
with her?
Well, at one point he said that it was just him and Kenroy.
Kenroy? Who's Kenroy?
Another brother.
And that's Eulalie's child?
Yes.
How many children do you know of?
7.
7?
Yes.
And you've met them?
No, I just met 2, Christopher and Kenroy.
And Kenroy?
Yes.
Kenroy is in Clarendon?
Yes.
Yes, he's the pastor.
Yes.
So what him preaching to you about now?
Nothing really.
Right. But we're here for serious business, because that, as I said before, has left questions in your head as to who your mother ought to be, and why is Christopher so strong on the fact that Navlet could not be your mom?
I have no idea.
Tell us about when you were little and he used to hold you and all them drama things.
Well, he told me that, but I don't remember him. A bigger brother being there.
Miss Nora.
Last week one day.
She remember anything more?
Well, when I met with her, she said that my mother was a young girl. I was the only child in the yard.
Who is she talking about? Eulalie or Navlet?
She don't even know the name. She didn't tell me the name.
Okay, but based on what Christopher said, who do you believe it is?
Navlet.
Navlet.
Yes.
And she was a young girl.
Yeah.
So she knew your mom.
Miss Nora. She said she never knew her, but she knew about her. She saw 1 or 2 times.
And what about Miss Eulalie? She said anything about Miss Eulalie? She know her?
No, she hasn't said anything. Miss Nora said that my father, Kenneth Campbell, she grew him as her own son.
Miss Nora grew Kenneth Campbell?
Yeah, at one point.
So Miss Nora is up in age?
Yeah, she's 80 something.
Wow.
Going on 90, I think.
Yes.
Yes. She said that Kenneth went away and bring my mother there. So that's how she knew about her.
You met Kenroy, you met
Christopher.
and name some other
I
persons. You said
spoke
there are
with-
7 of them.
Well, I know of Nicola, Lisan, and Tantan is just a
Tantan.
Yeah, just a nickname. And I heard that Christopher said that I have another brother who died very young.
Really?
So, yeah.
Not too complex yet until we got to your birth certificate. And he came on the stream and said, no, Eulalie is your mother. So what do you want to find out here today?
Well, who really is my mother? Whether it's Novlet or you.
Who do you believe is?
Novlet.
You believe that Novlet?
Yes.
Why?
Because when Christopher told me that Novlet went away before I was born, my question is, how comes her name end up on my birth certificate if she wasn't there? And he said that Novlet didn't return. So he couldn't answer that question. So I come to the conclusion that Novlet is my mother. She had me when she was pretty early, and then Eulalie, who will be the grandmother, cover it up. Because my father now is much older than her, so that's my conclusion.
Okay. But who you know Kenneth Campbell to be? Because you heard of Kenneth. You had Faye and
Michael,
are your father's children, so they would be your
brother and sister.
half brother, half sister.
Yes.
So, who was Kenneth Campbell at this time? He's your father.
Father said must be boyfriend. That's the conclusion I come up with. Maybe they're covering it up because she was young and don't want to look bad, because he said that Eulalie was a Christian.
Eulalie was a Christian lady.
Yes, so
Anyway, Eulalie is dead. Kenneth Campbell is dead. Novlet cannot be found. So, this leaves us with a big mystery. So, what do you want to find out here today?
well, who really is my mother?
She has a little book in her hand there. And in that little book in her hand there is a secret to who your mom really is.
Thanks for watching The Susan Show. See you next time.
Please like, subscribe, turn on post notification to see videos as soon as they're uploaded.